Okay, Virgo, we're catching up with your energy here. We've got 9 cards here. So it's intense. If you know a Capricorn, man, just try and keep them out of trouble. Okay. Anyway, we're going to get into the cards here. I got the Gaia deck. I'll give you details on how to get further readings from me because they won't all be on YouTube. They'll be in Rumble. But I'll give you the details either below or whatever. I'll tell you where to get the links. Here we go. First card for Virgo. Where's your energy at? What card do we get here? 19 emotions. Yeah. Usually means emotional turmoil is coming up here, or universe is going to bring you something that's going to bring this about. So we will leave that sit there. Yeah, Virgo is quite, they'll be unfrazzled by this is the sense I get. Next card, we have faith. Okay, there's a lot of energy here. Have to do with faith. Now, give me a moment. These women look exactly the same. Is that the same woman? Not really, but she's wearing a yellow dress. She's got blonde hair. Give me a moment here. It's somebody, we feel highly guided. We may be highly guided. We may be even connected with an angelic form in a female form is the sense I'm getting. We may, how do you say, this is the best way it can come to us in a female form. We feel quite soothed and connected through spiritual energy in this way. It could have come to someone having a vision of this in some kind of way. So we are opening of the third eye. We may have had it open for some time here. We may be seeking guidance quite highly in our field, receiving it, and seeing results from that. So it's all good. This is really great and wonderful. I'm not getting a lot on the emotional front though, really. I'm getting more from the faith here. They're going, oh yeah, the faith. We got a lot of faith here in the above, right? Everything that's above us. The guidance and whatnot. So this is all good anyway. We'll carry on. The third card, the child card. This speaks to innocence. I feel like the child, they're bringing me the beginning process. So we may be beginning or starting a journey having to do with literal faith. We may be tapping into religion. Now, I'm non-denominational, but that doesn't mean that other people can't get into that to help guide them. And it will guide them no matter what. So if you are someone who has a religion or is having faith in religion, this is going to help you quite highly. This is what you need. I'm all for it. Like, go ahead. Not that you need my approval, but I feel like this is the journey that we're on at this point. We're feeling quite like we have like everything. We open ourselves up to this field of religion or whatever it is. I don't know. We've a belief system. We'll put it that way. And this belief system, we're just opening up to this. We have no fear of judgment, nothing. We're just opening up to that field, and we're finding other people that are of the same frequency, meaning they believe the same things. We can talk with them about it. We feel quite enriched when we do this. It's all part of that plan. It's all good. So this child is kind of, they're making me feel this is us beginning our journey of faith and having faith in, again, the higher above here. These earth signs are really getting into it. They're really starting to understand what matters. And I don't mean that I have a way of putting my foot in my mouth, so I gotta be careful how, without even knowing, right? Or meaning to. So the sense here is we're picking a lane here, having to do with our faith, okay? And I feel like this is the journey we're going to start. I'll just leave it there. We'll move forward. Now, the feminine infinity cards to expand here on the emotions. What do we get there? The hangman, yeah. Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing, the emotion. So I'm getting a masculine again, man. Sorry, feminines, but I mean, you could be along for the ride here too. But I'm definitely picking up on a masculine energy. Someone who kind of, it's not that we don't know we have emotions and feelings about certain ways. Oh yeah, we know what we think about this and we know what we think about that, and it brings out emotions. And I feel like the universe, or, whatever, wherever you're being guided here, there's a sense here, whoever I'm talking to, how do I say this without sounding insulting? And I don't mean to sound insulting, but I'm knowing the way I'm formulating it could come off wrong. Man. Yeah, I'm getting a sense that this person has had like a heavy spiritual experience, but it came at a price. Like, either we had a near-death experience ourselves, or something tragic happened and it brought us to kind of a parting of the heavens, and down came this angel kind of thing. I swear this is what I'm picking up on now. We are either finally able to talk about this to people that know about this and understand this and appreciate this with compassion rather than making fun of us or anything like this. I feel like that is part of what is giving us so much healing at this time. I do not feel that this Virgo, my hair is doing things, sorry. I do not feel that this Virgo is in a position where they want to deal with their emotions. I feel a heavily masculine, tainted. I'm saying tainted because we're shutting our emotions down. We get angry and, we try not to cry. This has been programmed in us. This is gonna hurt if we can't dive into that a little more. If we can't release our emotional center a little more, fists will be flying is the sense that I'm getting. Now, as we move past that, we got the Hangman here to talk about the emotions. We need to look at our emotional center with a different attitude, a different perspective, we're not looking at it in the proper manner. And it could just be boys don't cry, or men don't cry, or, women don't cry. People don't cry, This could be one belief system here that we're hung up on. And we need to look at it differently because there's a lot of healing that needs to happen here. I feel like we're getting a lot of acceptance in our social world. I feel like they're just showing me a floodgate of stuff having to do with faith. So this maybe we joined a religion and we're going to church, and suddenly all these people, we can just talk about anything and it's all accepted. That in itself is a big release, but we're still not allowing our emotional center to deal with what we've been through. So it sounds like something tragic or a tragedy or something that has built trauma in us in some kind of way. There's a need to process our emotions, okay? I know there's about a 12 on a scale of 1 to 10 of resistance. We're going to have to break that down before we emotionally collapse, is what they're warning me of quite highly here. Now, let's move on to the faith, because this is where it's all at. We're feeling in our social world, we're being accepted for what we say. We may have had a huge tragedy come upon us, change our life completely. And because of this, we may have kept that on the down low for the longest time, but now that we're starting to open up to a faith here and explain things, people are, we may have had an old life and a new life. I'm getting that again here, where I had that for Capricorn, where, before we do certain things and now we don't want to do those same certain things. And again, if we have something profound or spiritual enlightening happen in this way, it is going to change our perspective quite highly. On top of that faith card is 9, the Hermit. That's interesting because it's the opposite of what I'm getting. Because the Hermit is going out now. This is the feminine version of this. It's shining a light, right? Shining a light on things, literal lightening up. We may have been in a dark energy and just did not know it, or weren't engaged in other people enough, is the sense they're giving me. We had a sense of self. That was all we saw. And this tragedy made us see things differently. They opened everything up and go, you can think about the other guy and you can think differently from higher vantage point here. I feel like a great enlightening process is just coming through here to the Virgo. Man, these are heavy hitting spiritual readings. I'll tell you right now. So I'm going to move on to the child. Again, the innocence, the journey that we're going to start here. It is the first card in the deck. We're starting a journey of faith here. And the universe, or the whatever, God, whatever Christ, consciousness, you want to label it, they're wanting you to deal with your emotional center. This is the goal here. There's high resistance, so this should be interesting. On top of the child, we have the Magician card. Now, from the feminine deck, this is about us taking charge and going in a direction we want to go because we want to go there. And again, I feel like our old life, we never would have been dealing with things in a way that we're dealing with them now, with people that we're dealing with now. We just wouldn't have been in that circle. But there's a sense of relief that I'm not dealing with the same goofballs or whatever, right? I'm moving into different, and it's all, we're feeling it quite highly. It's all expanding us in a good way. They're taking me back to the Hermit card. Just give me a minute. Yeah, there is a sense here, even though we may have people outside of us that are validating what we are coming up with spiritually, or what we've been through traumatically and spiritually. Even though that is, I feel like there's a shock to the system where we kind of need time away to go, okay, wait. Did somebody pay them to tell me, because we just really do feel like we're in two worlds here. Like we used to be in a world and we can't get over what's going on in this world. And it's so much so that it just doesn't seem real. Like somebody's going to knock on your door and go, gotcha. Like they've been following you, but that's not what's going to happen. It is the reality here. We do have people that have a lot of compassion. We do have, because I feel like this person's energy that I'm picking up on, they don't have a lot of people, or they're not used to, in the past, a lot of people around them having great compassional capacity. That's a new word. A level of compassion that they've never seen is what I'm getting, the Virgo here. There's levels of compassion here. I can't even believe that people are really doing this. They're really saying this. They're really supporting me in this. I got to take a moment and sit and think. And I feel like this person, they're just sitting and thinking about their day, going like, they're supporting me. Like I've never had this much support. I've never had this much whatever. Compassion, understanding. Yeah, that. And, faith may be at the root of that. And like I say, I'm not against having faith in any of it. You need it somewhere along the way. And at this point, everything's flourishing, and it seems like the faith is the answer, and it very well is the answer for this Virgo. And they're going all in because it's just, but again, we're kind of shocked by how accepted we've become here and how much our life has changed from where we were. Not that we want to go back, but we sit and think about it a lot. We sit and think and we go, man, like, I can't even, the guys I used to talk with, or the crowds I used to talk with, or the way I used to talk with people. It's so different now. My life has changed 180. And things like that can happen, whether it was a health thing, an accidental thing, or something happened here that changed everything. And it's almost like a separate lifetime is what this person is feeling. It's like I should have died and then come back and then started this life. It's like I can't even fathom, like, and that's why they erase our memory from whatever, whatever timeline or what do I say? Past life or parallel life that you have. They have to wipe you because it's so overwhelming, right? We had this before and now we have this. We'd just be sitting there stunned all the time. But it's advancement of the soul, and just keep that in mind and keep moving forward. But I think this Virgo really needs time to process a lot of this because it is overwhelming. And if we're not dealing with our emotions, it'll create some problems because we will start to become emotional at the most inopportune times. And I've said that verbatim in another reading. I wouldn't doubt it was an earth sign, or I don't know who, or it could have been water actually. But anyway, so my advice to you most strongly from this reading and the universe is if you have alone time to hermit with this lantern, we would suggest you try and release some of those tears, because as we go forward, we're going to be more, they're saying, in the public eye, and we won't be able to hide that. So do it now while you can. And whether we're going to be more prominent at work or more, just more in demand, where our face is going to be seen more, we won't have much time to decompress as we have now or up to now. So be aware of that, because that, the feeling that I get from this person is that I don't cry in public. I don't cry. And I'm a man and I can handle it. And unfortunately, that's what leads a lot of men to collapse or to drink or to, down a road of ruin. So if there's a safe place or safe harbor, or I'm getting women, even if there's, I don't know if this guy would do that. He really wouldn't do that. But they're going, if there's someone, even a mother figure maybe, that we could go to and cry and feel safe doing that, or releasing, period, by ourselves. If it's out in the field in the back 40, go for it. We need to release these emotions somehow, because they're telling me to warn you. It will come. The emotions will come. The overwhelm will come. We will have to process it. So please process it on your own, rather than having it blow in a different way when we don't do this. When we don't release, right? Yeah, because it's quite obvious. It's quite obvious to others when you've come to the threshold where we need a release. And unfortunately, it comes in the form of anger, which is the worst form it can come in. So we need to decompress that so that it gets to a frustration level, not to, I'm going to punch your face in, this kind of stuff. This is what I'm getting. Okay, heavy Virgo, man. Okay, as we get into the masculine energy, we're hung up here in our emotional center. We need to release. We're hermiting away because there's such shock in the way that our life has changed due to some kind of trauma in our life. Now the magicians come in here. We are going to take it forward the way we want to go. And fortunately, it's the same way the universe wants you to go. So we're all in alignment here. So far. And the card on top of the Hangman, what do we get there? The Nine of Air. Oh, man. Yeah, that's the stress and anxiety. So there is something getting to us here. Okay, I'm leaving Faith on the sidelines because that was a great big bubble of good stuff. This is stress and anxiety. There's something getting to us here on a level, and it may even be people or situations where we kind of don't want to let people know we're feeling any stress, but it's hitting us no less. Be careful with that. That's, yeah, another release there. Now on top of the Hermit card, this may be also why we're hermiting away. We have the King of Fire. Okay, this is not your element. but the king is an older gentleman in a fire element, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. These people, they go after what they want and they get it. I feel like you may be in counsel with someone like this, or someone like this will give you some advice here. I'm going to leave him sit because because the whole row down the middle is what is most in your reality at this time. And we have faith. We have the Hermit card and we have the King of Fire. So the King of Fire more than likely is an older gentleman. Could be a father figure. Could be just someone we either respect or someone that's going to come at us and speak their truth is the sense. The Hermit, I feel like we're kind of... Because the Hermit card, the energy they're giving me, is the Virgo going to decompress, but they don't totally know how to do it where they're completely relieved. They just go and kind of go down a couple notches and then go back in. We don't know how to drain the system of stress, anxiety, toxic emotions, all of this. We don't know how to completely decompress, so we're truly not doing it the way we should. I feel like there's a King of Fire in our view here. I'm not sure what's going to happen. We're going to pull the last card here and see if I can tie it up. On top of the Magician and the Child, we have the Nine of Earth. Okay, Nine of Earth, that is very much the independence card. It means I am financially independent. I'm secure. I can take care of myself. I have no financial issues to think of. That's a good relief, because if we're stressed, it ain't about money and our security at this time. Give me a moment here to look into this King of Fire. He does look like he's kind of questioning. Like, I feel like it could be a father figure. Let's go with the father figure here. If it's not a father figure, it's someone who's very protective of you and who thinks of you and your highest good. Okay? Now, going along that line, this guy goes after what he wants and gets it. He has no problems. He has a very busy life, and he takes it all in stride. It doesn't back down from a challenge, is the sense that I get. Now, this person is puzzled about you. Now, the sense here is they're thinking, how do I let this guy know? Kind of what I've explained here, that you're basically an emotional time bomb and you're gonna blow. And maybe this person's already told you that, is the sense they're giving me. This has already been said in not so many words. But it's like they're curious because they see that they can't prevent this for you. It's almost like we may have to go through like a complete emotional collapse in order to really release what we need to release here. I feel this guy really cuts through the bull with you. I don't feel like I feel you know this. So again, this may be an elder, someone older than you that you respect highly. They're trying to give you a chance to get on your own feet emotionally, but they're seeing that you have no tools, you have no like things that you need to deal with it is just not there. And they're hoping that you don't collapse, but yet they don't want to be a broken record and go, but maybe they have in the past. Okay. Now, this person is highly prominent. I feel like this person will either be around or will be your savior or will just know what to do when this hits. Because I feel for the Virgo, unfortunately, as bullheaded as they can be in the ways of, they're going to have to hit rock bottom on an emotional level in order to build back up. And it's just the way it's heading here. We have an emotional brick wall we're going to run right the hell into. We got to deal with our emotional center, and we just haven't. And it's creating anxiety in us that we can't deal with. So this is a warning. Now, warning or not, the sense I get is we just are not fueled here. We can go outside for help, though it is not in this person's character to do that. They're saying, oh, we're not going to go and ask for people to help us with our like we're not. But I'll tell you this, what they're telling to me is keep venting, keep talking. And if you know who this King of Fire is, he has your blueprint, is the sense I get. Yet I kind of get a reserved, kind of aloofness, but yet he's there and he's concerned, but he's trying to back off to let you take it's kind of an interesting energy. So I don't see it being a father figure actually, but it could be someone older or an uncle or something like that that's kind of in your life, but not all the time. And right? Like when we go to see this person, we are happy. We get really happy because they truly understand it, which they do. I get the sense that this person really does understand you and you feel like a relief talking. So maybe this person, even though they've told you and they know that there's a certain process we got to deal with here. The Virgo's just going to go down that hard road for this, and it's on the emotional side. I mean, it's not a huge thing, but spiritually it will be. Because once you really, truly do break in an emotional way, this will clear the air. This will get rid of, some of the anxiety we're hiding and some of the, just hiding from people, period, because they're getting you going out and then also needing a break. But that can, all be worked out here with the emotional center, believe it or not. So, wow, there's a lot of energy here, Virgo, like I can't even. But if you know what I'm talking about, and the one thing that you can do is just try and feel. If you feel sad, try and feel that. If you can shed a tear, don't stop it. If it comes naturally, don't stop it. You can't really force tears. But what you can do is when you're alone or when you're whatever, you see a commercial, it brings a tear to your eye, let it fall. Don't block it. Because that block is a steam valve that just tick, tick, tick. Time bomb. This is what. So we don't want an emotional collapse here, and we don't want any more trauma in our lives because we've had enough. So try and vent as much. That's all I can tell you here from this vantage point, because and try and speak as much as you can to those that will listen. And I do feel you have one in your corner here who is quite willing to listen and quite is very able to work with you to help you understand yourself. And I don't feel this is a counselor. Like, I don't get that scribble type people. I feel this is just someone he's been through life and he just really knows characters and he has a high instinct for things and he follows that and he understands that to the ninth, and it just helps him understand people better. And you kind of are an open book to him. So he's able to kind of throw that back at you. And I feel like that's your best bet on trying to kind of decompress things a little bit. There's one guy here that can help you with that. So try and just, vent as much as you can in his direction. And he will naturally come at you with whatever he feels guided to as well. Because this person is highly instinctive. Also, man, heavy earth, man. Okay, power of surrender card. What do we come up with for Virgo? Surrender procrastination. So again, don't surrender to procrastinate, but surrender procrastinating if there's something you're putting off, like dealing with your emotions or whatnot. That's just an example. It says, now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. I get, again, this anxiety. I feel like it builds, one, because we don't deal with our emotional center like we think we do. Yeah, it's not effective. The tactic that we're using, it's not effective. It just drains like 10%, but we got 80% to go here. That's just, Yeah, I feel highly distressed. There's something connected here. They want to put the nine of air with this procrastination card. So there is something here. I don't know if it has to do with, but religion or faith or anything like that. I feel it's something that may be something work related or something kind of like a chore that we have to do. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. I think it may be something that we're after, but we're scared to take a leap. Because when they say jump, they're like, yeah, it's a jump, a new direction, all this. So this may be, now this could come in any shape and form. It could be, again, I feel like it's a job. Like we want to go after something, but we don't. Or, you know what? I feel like this dude, whoever he is, if something comes across the plate and he's all gung-ho for it, he's just going to jump. So I don't understand why we got an apprehensiveness, but nonetheless, they're kind of shading that over for me. So it may be a personal issue, or maybe something here, just trying to take a leap here into a new way. There is something here where man, these energies are getting trippy. There's a new direction we want to go. I feel like our whole life is going in a new direction, but there's things that, specific things, like either work goals or personal goals or, whatever, something to do with that. There's a goal here that we're going to take charge and make happen. And then there's another goal here, or I don't know if it's a goal as much as something in our path that we have to deal with that we don't want to deal with or we're avoiding or putting off. And they're making you aware of that. I think as you sit there and listen, you're like, oh, yeah, I know exactly what that is. And I ain't dealing with it yet. That kind of thing. But nonetheless, your life is flowing in a good way. And they're showing me the river just going into just bright sunset. And the sun is the happiest card in the deck. So overall, right? Overall, our life is gone to the happy place. It's just we really have to process some of our emotional trauma from our past, and we're kind of unwilling to do that effectively, or we don't know how to do that effectively. And the thing is, just vent to those that will listen and allow the emotions to come forth when we feel them in private. And that's that hermit card. And I think we're starting to hermit away from people, because the universe wants you to take that time to feel those emotions. But when we hermit, we sit and think. And for Virgo, we're just out of our element no matter. Because we're out of our element because we're dealing with all these faith things. So we feel a little different there, but it's all serving us, so we're going there. And we're out of our element in the fire. There's a little bit of fire here. There's a fire friend, and there's fire in our emotions, and then there's a fire when we hermit. And that's when we're looking at a little bit of that flicker, but we really have to go over all of it. And that may be some of the procrastination here, is dealing with things of our past. Wow, man, Virgo. Whew. These are a lot different than before when I came in. And it's all good. It's good because people are really, I'm like, spiritual, emotional, blah. And people, it's like, I felt like people were it was just over their head. But now everybody's getting in it. Because now I think I was ahead of the energy. The energy wave has hit everybody. And suddenly now shit's changing. and the Virgo is along for the ride here. I've said all I needed to say here. I don't want to over exaggerate anything, but you are on a new path. That thing you're procrastinating on, it is a burden, so do it, get it done, and then it will be over. It will lift you, and also hopefully you can deal with your emotions as time goes on here. Yeah, and that's what I hope for you, Virgo. Okay, so take care. Have fun and be kind. More readings. They will be in the Rumble site. Like I said, I've been out for a long time here. But I'm going to get back on track definitely after January. I will be in doing the love, sex, romance readings, and also get into some career readings. I was requested to do that. And same with the spirituality is just a given. We're going to go there. So take care, guys. Have fun and be kind. And we will talk to you soon.